Hi everyone, welcome to Cover Creations. My name is Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. Now, today we're going to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to do a condiment today. The other day I did a really nice kind of smoked mackerel kedgeree. It said it goes really well with mango chutney. So today I'm going to take you through my homemade mango chutney. Now, you can obviously just go down the shop and buy the stuff in jars, but who knows, you might just want to give it a go. I love doing it. It allows me to play with the flavours a little bit more, get a bit more spice into there. So let's get cracking. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to prep some of those little bits, some of those little spices that go with the mango before we do the mango. So we're going to need to get yourself a red chilli. Now, normally I'd say use half a red chilli for this, but we're going to do the chilli roulette and try it. See how hot it is. This one's not too bad actually, so I'm probably going to put the whole one of this in. Again, just always taste your chilies before you stick them in, because you never know. Doesn't matter what you do, there's always going to be one that's mentally hot in a pack, even if you bought some nice mild ones. So let's chop this chilli up. You just want this in nice little tiny cubes, so it goes right through the chutney. So there we go, all in little battens, and then just chop across. Okay, so that's my chilli done. Just push that one to one side. And we want garlic. So just going to use one clove of garlic, just a normal sized clove of garlic with this. And again, we're just going to chop that down nice and fine, roughly about the same size as we did the chilli. There we go. We can move our garlic over. When you put the garlic in with the chilli, it doesn't matter, it's all going to go in the pan together on this one. So then you want some ginger. Now, I always use kind of fresh ginger for this. I mean, this stuff is just basically fresh ginger, just in a kind of syrup. Just makes things easier, means I don't have to go out and buy huge lumps of ginger and then only use half of them. So you want about as much as is going to fit in a tablespoon on this. And we're exactly the same as the garlic and the chilli, just chop it up nice and fine. Those are our kind of fresh spices that are going to go in here. And now for the, I would say the dangerous bit, depending on what you're wearing, but the mangoes. Now obviously for this you can just buy mango cubes in a packet if you want, but I'm going to show you how to do it with like full mangoes. You want 600 grams of whole mangoes if you're using these. That will give you just over or around about 300 grams of kind of mango cubes once you've done, because they've just got this enormous great stone in the middle. But I'll show you how you can actually get these when you're using a fresh one. So just want to make an incision all the way around the kind of the flatter side. So just cutting down to that seed. And then unfortunately, it's not like an avocado where you can just twist it. It's a lot more painful. Get yourself a spoon, slide your spoon in until you can feel that seed in the middle. And then just gently ease it round. And then it should come away. You should have half a mango. So you can do the same on the other side. Told you it was dangerous. Okay, so once you've got your little mango halves, what you want to do is get your knife, kind of score through the inside till you meet the skin. Little checkerboard. And then we pop that like that. We have our little things of mango which we can just slice off. Chuck straight in a bowl ready to use. So there we go, that's all the ingredients I need to deal with over here. So we just head straight over the hot, start putting the sauce together. Sauce, chutney. Okay, so now we can start putting this together. So just put about a tablespoon of vegetable oil just in the pan. Whack that one on. And on a low heat, we just want to put in that chilli, ginger and garlic. Get it sweating down a bit, soften it up. Just going to leave that for a minute or two, just cooking away nicely. And I'll come back to you, we'll add in the spices, or the rest of the spices. Brilliant. So that's, nicely swayed down but hasn't started burning. So now we're going to add in loads of little spices to this. So I want a 1/4 teaspoon of whole fennel seeds. Now you can grind these down, just use powders for them, but I like those little nuggets of kind of the seeds in there because you just get these little pops of flavour when you're going through the chutney. So 1/4 teaspoon of that, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, like so, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Now just bring a nice yellow colour to it. I'm never quite sure why the shop bought ones are orange. Mangoes aren't orange. So, don't know why I'm holding 1/4 teaspoon. Next we want 1/2 teaspoons. So we want 1/2 teaspoon of cumin seeds. These are classic kind of Indian flavour. Just works so well with that. There we go. And then we want 1/2 teaspoon of ground coriander. Again, this one I'm using ground because the seeds are just a little bit too large. We'll shove that in there. We're just going to sweat that down a bit. It's going to create almost like this kind of bitty paste in the bottom. And what you'll get is you'll start to smell it. And that's the easiest way to judge this when it's time to move on to the next bit. Just wait for that smell to hit you in the face and you'll know it's time to go. Yeah, so that's had a minute or so. It's really started to get punchy now. So to that, we're just going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That'll do. And then we're going to throw in our mangoes. Pop them in there. Give them a good stir around. Get them nice and coated with all of that spice. I'm just going to let those mangoes sit there just for another minute or two. I'm just going to basically kind of char the outside, or not char it, it's not going to go black. I'm just going to soften that outside a bit, just allow it to cook a bit better. Okay, so that's been going a minute or two. You'll feel the edges slightly softer. You know, when you're moving it around in the pan, you just feel like they're not such hard lumps anymore. So we want those bits to stay together. Just want to start that cooking process off. Okay, so now we can add in some white wine vinegar. Now this is what's going to kind of give you that real chutney flavour to it. Just want 100 ml of white wine vinegar. Pour that on top. And I don't know why I left it over there. Sugar. Now, I've been accused a few times by some people of actually some of my food being pretty damn healthy. This isn't, just to let you know right up front, this is not healthy at all. So we're putting 250 grams of white caster sugar into here. Just going to tip that right in. That's just going to sweeten this up so much. And that's what you want. This is a mango chutney. You're going to have little bits of it. You're not going to be like, well, you might, I would, scooping huge lumps of it. So we're just going to sit that there, give it a stir around. For some reason I left my ladle over there as well. So you're going to turn the heat up a bit and just keep giving it a little stir every now and again. Just try and get that sugar to kind of dissolve in there. But if you're using caster sugar, it should make it much easier. Whack the lid on, we'll bring that up to a simmer. And once it's doing that, turn it down a bit, just keep it simmering away. So we're just going to leave that there, lid on, half an hour. I'll come back to you then. And that's looking great. Just want to take the lid off here. And it's still going to be, you'll see, it's still quite liquidy. Now you don't really want, obviously, a chutney that's completely liquid. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to break down a couple of those bits of mango. So you want to keep some chunky bits in there because it's a mango chutney. You want those little nuggets of it. You're just going to use a spoon. and just break down a few of those lumps. So now to control the sauce, what we're going to do, leave it uncovered, just give it another 10 minutes simmering at a really low temperature. What that will do is it will just thicken up that sauce slightly. Some of the water that was naturally in the mango will kind of evaporate off, and you'll just get a much nicer kind of chutney. Okay, that's it. I can feel it's slightly thicker. It's still going to be quite runny. Don't be too scared. As that cools, it will kind of all come together and you'll get that lovely kind of chutney texture to it. So we can just flick that off. We can go and shove it in some jars. So here we go. There's me mango chutney. Perfect. Okay, so now all that's left to do is jar it and cool it. So this is making around about 400ml. So unfortunately I don't have a 400ml jam jar, just got a 350. So you can just pour that straight in. Watching out for splash. A bit more in there. There we go. Just got a bit left over. Lovely job. Where can I put that? There will do. So you can jar this in one or two ways. I'm just using a nice clean jar because for me this stuff, it keeps in the fridge for probably about a month, 2 months. Without a problem. The amount of vinegar and sugar in there just preserves it so well. If you want it to keep for longer, you can sterilise your jar, and then once you've come out and put it on properly, you'll get that heat seal. That will keep for up to a year. So to sterilise them, just clean them in really hot water, soapy water, rinse them off, and then put them in the oven for 15 minutes at 150, just the jar. And the lid, same thing, wash it, and then just chuck it in boiling water for the same time. And then you've got a perfectly sterilised jam jar. And like I say, once you've filled that and sealed it up, that'll keep in a cupboard for a year, quite happily. So there we go. Lovely, delicious mango chutney. So as that little jar of deliciousness cools down, just going to leave it on the side. You're just going to get that really kind of unctuous jelly-like quality to it, and then we just whack them in the fridge, and for me that'd be gone in a week. So I hope you enjoy it, I hope you give it a go, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.